welcome to Intermissions, your backstage pass to On the Air with Florenza. You'll experience bloopers, outtakes, surprises, and all the laughter in between. Intermissions is unscripted, unfiltered, and undeniably Florenza. So put your hands together to welcome today's guest to the show. Thank you so much, Ellen, for joining me on this episode of On the Air with Florenza, where in just a few minutes we are going to talk about actually a couple of your books. I know that we're going to stick around Heartbreak Hotel, but I am really interested in like some of your previous works too. So our questions are going to be all over the place. Before we get started with all of that, we're going to toast to an amazing show. And let's see, I know you have a glass over there, but I don't know quite what it is.
I have this spooky mug. It is 85 degrees here, but The Heartbreak Hotel is a very autumnal book, so I thought I would get in the spirit of the season with my favorite little ghosty mug. I have a chai tea in here.
Oh, that is so stinking cute. Oh.
What do you have?
So I ran downstairs and I just really started pouring really fast. So it's a little bit of orange juice, a little bit of champagne, a little bit of vodka, and a little bit of tonic water. I don't know what that would be called. So it's going to be the morning pick-me-up.
Great. I love it. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Did I say a little bit of vodka? I think I under-exaggerated. Okay. So you've seen a few of my shows, and you know that I have a segment called Intermissions where I ask a few random questions, more like icebreaker. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. If you could have one character from 7% of Roe Devereaux over for dinner, who would it be and what would you cook?
Oh my gosh, what a fun question. I also wasn't expecting to talk about Ro Devereaux right off the bat, so thank you for asking about that too. If I could pick one character, I think I would pick, I mean, the obvious answer is Ro herself,
Yes.
but I think that I would pick Vera, who is Ro's next door neighbor and kind of her mentor and this grandmother figure to her. She's a brain scientist, so a really smart and fascinating woman, and I would just love to chat with her about her work and what she's learned over the course of her career. And I think I would make a chicken saltimbocca because Ro's dad is a really great cook and he makes that for Vera, which is something that she really loves. Or at least try to make it.
I was going to say, you just threw that off like you've been cooking that 7 days a week, girl.
I would do my best to make that for Vera.
Nice. What's the last song you had on repeat?
That's So True. Gracie Abrams just hits so good. Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Love that song. It does.
Oh, and isn't it something when a song just hits you the right way and it's just like, it just gets in you?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I love it. I love it. What's the one thing you always keep on your writing desk?
I'm looking at all the many things that I have here. I have this, I'll show you. I have this little foil art and it says,
cute.
Started making it, had a breakdown, bon appetit. And it's a quote from the Great British Baking Show when one of the contestants was having a very hard day. And it just reminds me that even the mental breakdowns are part of the process of creation sometimes, and that's okay. And you'll still get there in the end.
You'll still get there. Oh my gosh, we could sit forever on understanding the things that take place in the process. And those things that we sometimes want to run by or skip or hop over. And then at the end, we realize how vitally important they were to strengthening us, leaning us. You know what I mean? Like, what is it that needs to drop off so that you can get there? Or what do you need to pad on? Right? That you're going to need later. So yes, babe, we could sit there for a long time. All right,
Yeah,
but
the hard parts of the process are often the most important parts, even though they're the
yes.
most uncomfortable.
Yes. And that's why they're the most uncomfortable because they stretch us outside of that zone where we have received comfort and we don't
Yes,
want to shift, right?
absolutely.
So, yeah, you've got to do that. You've got to take that F out of your shift and then say, "Oh,
I love
when you get to that point, you're ready."
it.
You're ready. If you weren't an author, what job do you think you would be doing today?
Oh my gosh. That's a tough one because author really has been my dream job for like my whole life. Um, I live in Colorado and I'm a huge fan of our park system and the national park system. And I think it would be so cool to be a national park ranger. I would love
Oh,
to work in like Rocky Mountain National Park and just get to be there all the time and experience it through all the seasons. And yeah, I think that'd be a really fun job.
that would be cool. I bet you would have like color coordinated or holiday inspired scrunchies on your arm, pinning your hair up with the scrunchies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That would be cute. And the last one for this segment. What piece of media, book, film, or show most recently made you laugh or cry?
Hmm. Just last weekend, I watched Sinners, which is the Michael B. Jordan vampire movie. Incredible. And I definitely teared up a few times. There's some really emotional moments, even though it's a horror movie, which is not usually my bag, but several
Me
people recommended
either.
it to me.
Yes.
So good. Yeah. So I love that one. And it definitely like hit me in my feelings pretty hard a couple times.
Yes. And I'm not a feelings girl. I'm actually the opposite of it. But
Mm,
that movie really, you're right. It caused me to pause in places I didn't expect to pause and reflect in ways that I didn't anticipate. It made me have internal dialogue about things, right, that I didn't expect to have. So I concur with
totally.
that. Mm,
Yeah. Very moving.
yes, yes. What was the movie that you seen prior to that that was unexpected and you still had like that type of response to?
I'm trying to think of what movies I've seen recently.
Or
I saw,
book. It doesn't have to be movie. It could be even a book, maybe.
but that gave me like a surprising emotion.
Yeah.
Um, I saw Materialists in theaters a couple months ago, maybe a month ago. What is time?
I
And
know.
I really appreciated, you know, I think that that movie was kind of marketed as a rom-com, and I don't think it really is a rom-com, but I did
Yeah.
appreciate as a romance writer and just as a human being what it was doing, talking about, you know, what we're really looking for in partnership and
Yeah.
what makes us feel valid in a
Yeah.
partnership and what makes us feel worthy.
Yeah.
So that gave me a lot of food for thought that I maybe wasn't anticipating going
Yeah.
into that. I was like, oh, it's just going to be a fun romance.
I just had a conversation with my mother and sister just an hour ago, and we were talking about not necessarily the movie, but exactly what you were just saying in
Mm,
terms of those partnerships and emotions and what is a partnership and how we as women have been duped with media and books and music and such um, to understanding relationships. And I had, oh Lord, I'm gonna mess up her name. I'm gonna think of it in a second. Um, Lord, it's gonna come to me. But she said to me, she said, marriage should be functional and not magical.
mm,
And that just stuck in such a weird way. My husband's and my marriage was a handshake. We knew each other and we liked each other, but we had our kind of separated and kind of parted ways, you know?
mhm,
And he had joined the army and he found out that the army would give him more money if he was married. And I
mm,
realized that the army could be my ticket to travel. And so it
mm.
was a handshake, and that was like almost 44 years ago. So it
Wow.
stuck. So
Wow.
I just
I
did.
mean, that is like a great premise for a romance novel, I will say. Like you're living it. Yeah.
Yes, and it worked. It wasn't quite arranged, although we were the arrangers of the arrangement, if
Yeah,
that
you
makes
knew what
sense.
you knew what you wanted to get out of it, and you made a deal, and that's
Yes,
what partnership is sometimes.
yes,
Should be even, yeah.
yes.
And this wraps up our episode of Intermissions, your backstage pass to On the Air with Florenza. Be sure to check out the full interview for this author as well as others on Florenza's podcast, On the Air with Florenza. And until next time, cheers.